Lately it's looking like everything perfect. Out the mud with it, I put the work and you can find me by turfist. Pin precision like a surgeon. Bad ones used to curve me. Showing up to the show when the curve split. She know that I'm worth it, I'm finna go from area. I got the hit stash, got a bracelet for impact. Real tricky, quick to flip a pretty penny to a thick stack. Quick stat, think fast and I talk real. I give a about how they feel. Me and Zach drop the pro.
That's actually working. Zexro is finally able to pay off here. Dave's drops down, he's fine.
I've been the man with the blueprint. Won't stop till I own every brick. I lay out in the lawn just to feel the world spin on its axis. Now I got the access and the last laugh, got it off for the passion. I keep it 100 on the dash now that we got us some trick.
Hello everyone and welcome to Knights Arena Valorant Challengers North America. If you are just tuning in, you're just in time for our second series of the day, as the first one concluding with the guard taking a 2-0 victory over Mad Lions. And now we have M80 going up against Disguise. Looking at this is a team that, M80 has found all that success. Disguise, they're still looking for it at this point. So this one should be a really exciting matchup to see where exactly Disguise is going up against this. But of course, looking at our teams, looking at our players, if there's always something outside of Valorant that these players are up to.
Yeah, you can only grind so much, I feel like, inside the battlefield. The rolling meme is you gotta out-touch a little bit of grass. And we got a little bit of that. Blessed us on the TL. I will say I felt a little bit more connected to this moment than maybe the two of you did. But I had respect to Noob, got out there, and well, it's bold. The post a golf swing on the TL. This, honestly, not bad contact for Noob. Just need to get him a little more stable, because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. The swing is a little out of whack, but hey, it's not bad overall. I got to prop it.
Got some hang time on it for sure. Like, I definitely probably better than I could do with the golf club swing, so.
Well, we'll get to that one in a little bit, but Shift, I know that when we're looking at this desk, we got the two experts here, the two analysts doing more than just outside. So first, we also got to look at our production too. This one in Elton, back-to-back here, Shift.
Dude, I've never seen a lefty with a bad golf swing, just flat out. Like, it's a little out of connection, but that's some pretty smooth and fluid tempo. Like, that guy's a resident of Tempo Town for sure. You know that guy plays.
Well, Shift, why don't you show us how it's done? You being the perfectly average golfer that you are.
No free shout-outs, but you can find it on YouTube, Perfectly Average Golf. No big deal. Just, bombs down the fairway, 24/7. I'm not gonna lie, that was actually like best drive of the day on that particular video. So Noob's got some work to do, but that's probably the only thing that'll ever beat Noob at this given moment in time. So,
You'll have to go out and actually give him some tips. You'll have to go out and hit some with them. But Dust, you do a little bit of a different little take here on golf.
Yeah, I mean, it's all cool, you guys hitting your balls with your sticks and all that cool stuff. That is one way that you can play the game of golf. And it is really the traditional way to play the game of golf, if we're honest. But why don't you feast your eyes on this one real quick? This is your boy Dust at a tournament at the end of last year, playing a different kind of golf. You know what I mean? The golf of the disc. And Shift, you hit balls pretty hard. You had some good form, some good technique. But I want you to feast your eyes on this real quick and let me know how this is working for you.
It's butter. Like, I could literally watch that flight all day. Freaking hole in one.
What's that? And is that how you play golf? I think that's the main goal, right? So just wanted to show you how it's done real quick.
Wait, Dust, how many aces do you have on the
That's the
frisbee
only
golf?
one, right?
That's the only one right there. You got one. Okay. That's
Won the
still
tournament,
really
though,
impressive.
so
Like, still really impressive.
Or that little celebration at the end. But hey, a little, golf bonding before we get into the thick of today's matchup, where things go a little bit of a less wholesome direction. And since we were just talking about Noob, well, why don't we just start talking about this M80 squad first? Looking at this team, Shift, this is a team that through Split 1, through the mid-season face-off, has been fire.
And the thing about it was, M80 was winning in a different way than the Guard or G2 was. They were just flat out slaying opponents. They were playing quick, they're playing with tempo, they were supposed to get in your face and make you have to react. thing is, as we've played through this split so far, sure, their record is solid, but they've been tested. The loss that they recently had, plus also the kind of scare they had versus TSM, that was surprising. I mean, losing to Shopify Rebellion, I don't think anybody would have had that on their bingo card. So M80 are in this position, kind of rare form, where it's like, okay, now we have to watch them bounce back in group play. Have not seen that too often when it comes down to them being bested kind of at their own game, because Shopify Rebellion came out and played with that same level of tempo and aggression that M80 like to play with. And honestly, I think for a lot of people, Shopify Rebellion beat M80 at their own game last week.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. M80's had a couple of banana peels that they've slipped on so far this split, but just overall, this team is incredibly powerful. I mean, literally everyone on this team, besides John Cutie, I guess, has been at some point in time top 5 in almost every major statistical category that you can think of for individual players. We're going to feature Nismo a little bit here in split 2 because he's been kind of the front runner so far these last couple of weeks. Obviously, he's been a strong player for quite some time, even going back to his Ghost days last year as an initiator that could sometimes flex to a duelist. I mean, he is putting up fantastic numbers, as you can see, but it's not just him. You got Koala Noob, who's one of the best duelists in Challengers. You got Xander, who is probably the best controller in Challengers. You got EU, who's a fantastic initiator as well. I mean, this team is loaded with talent. And let me tell you this, the first time they played against Disguise gets 5 total rounds across the series. Second time they play against Disguise, they get 9 total rounds across the series. So progress being made, but they still haven't been able to get over the hump of a map.
I don't really know if we can call that full progress, though, Dust. And I think the thing about it, well, sure, but ultimately, I still hold the bar here when it comes to M80. If they just keep kind of reaping and playing that straight up, we're just going to play aggressive with you. That's where Disguise are going to have trouble again in this matchup.
And when we're looking back at the last time these two faced off, there has been changes when we're looking at this Disguised roster heading into split 2. I mean, as most teams did to make sure they had the best chance at trying to make this run going into playoffs. This is where we got to see Ye join the squad. Disguised, the games have gotten a bit closer. They've gotten to take things to a 1-2, but ultimately, Dust, we're still seeing these losses coming on by.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team is just kind of like in weird disarray because there's been so many different roster moves that's taken place. I mean, obviously, you know, Exalt was off the team after being the top performer of the team through like the first couple of weeks of their split. But now the last couple of games, he's made a return to the team as Steel has departed. They've also pivoted Clear to a new role. They've put Nerved onto the team, who's been kind of a bust so far, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I haven't really seen it from him. But then they did do the biggest move that you could possibly do in all of Valorant, perhaps, and that is pick up the best player of 2022, you know, El Diablo himself, Ye. And Ye has been, you know, trying to push this team across the finish line. He's definitely had some good performances, but there's only so much one man can do. And we're going to have to see some other guys really step up if you're going to go up against as stacked of a lineup as M80 is.
Bro, that last phrase you just said, where you cannot just rely on him to do everything, that is literally the definition of this Disguise team if they want to try to make it.
Their Twitter game is on point, though. Can I say that? If they could convert the quality of their tweets to how they play rounds of Valorant, they would be doing big numbers right now in Split 2. Look at this tweet.
Yeah,
so this is their path to playoffs right here. Why don't you tell us how it's done?
Yeah, the TLDR on this, they got to win a lot, and they have to rely on a lot of people's downfalls. Maybe they're down, but they're not quite out. But man, this is a journey set ahead of them. And honestly, if they can't be taking out this 2-0 up against M80 today's shift, well, then the rest of the tweet doesn't matter.
You know, you do have that. But it just kind of goes to show that this team, you know, is still built off of strong vibes. And I think that's kind of the culture that's been built here. But I think ultimately it's one of those seasons that you're going to look back on, and we've already kind of seen it through different tweets and stuff. It's been stressful. I think on Toast in particular, you've seen his personal tweets on it, the team's accounts, and the players themselves have also tweeted about how they feel like they're letting down a giant community behind them. And I think at this point, I hate to kind of compare them directly to what we just had from Mad Lions, but this is a matchup where there's not a lot of expectations. You have to be able to prove your competitiveness overall. Is there going to be an opportunity for this team to compete in the future? And it cannot, again, come down just to one player. It cannot just be Ye. This whole team needs to start clicking.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I've obviously had a little bit of a negative tone about this guys that you've kind of heard, and I think that's just because the head-to-head matchup against M80 for them has been kind of rough. But, I mean, I will give this guys credit in the sense that they have been willing to make bold moves to try to improve the team.
Yes.
Like, they have not been complacent. They have tried to make roster pivots. It was unfortunate that for whatever reason Exalt and Steel couldn't coexist on the team, because I thought Exalt was a great initiator early on for them, and Steel's obviously a very experienced IGL, but for whatever reason things just weren't really clicking. Unfortunately, Clear in the duelist role wasn't having as successful of a challengers run as some of the other young guns that have come up, like a Sim or an Oxy and so on and so forth. Now they try to bring in the big guns by bringing in Ye, which is definitely the biggest move that they could have made, and they made it happen, so props to them for that. But for whatever reason, it still hasn't come together, and now they're without their experienced IGL. Now they brought Exalt back to the board. Clear hasn't taken to his new role as well as maybe they had hoped. Again, I feel like Nerve has struggled to settle into the team in the controller role, so that it just, things haven't really come together the way that they were hoping. But they have tried their damnedest, I will say that. Like, you got to give them props for being willing to roll the dice, make the big moves, try to improve. It just unfortunately hasn't led to results yet. Yet being the key word. Maybe we'll see something today.
These things take time, and unfortunately when things are happening in the midst of a split, not really allowed that time. So that's how we've seen the records go down, how they go. But hey, I'm excited for today's match and going on forward for this team's future and how things could potentially start to mend together. Ahead of our match, though, of course, we got the chance to sit down, talk to the players, and get their thoughts.
I feel like M80 is just another team that not only are they coordinated, they're also very talented. They know how to play together. They have a nice staff behind them as well. I think from the first time that I played them, I mean, we got rolled. We got absolutely dumpstered, and there was just a lot of mistakes that we made. And I look to, in the system that I implement, coming back to this team, I hope that I'm able to mitigate a lot of the issues that we had the first go around, and I hope to have a more competitive, best of 3.
Yeah, I don't think the Ye swap is gonna be like the reason why this team just suddenly like beats us or anything. I think they're like something with that roster, like the way they play, just it doesn't work against us. And like I don't know, I already talked about it, but like a bit like it sounds mean, but like their star player before they picked up Ye and stuff like isn't really performing right now. Like they really relied on him a lot during the qualifiers, and like he's not showing up, so it makes their lives like a lot harder.
They have a lot of individual fragging power, and it feels like every single map someone can go off and just carry them. And I think our problem with it was that we just gave them too much respect and played very slow into their hand. And when we do that, it allows their players to just start getting activated and just going off and snowballing. And I think that was basically our problem.
I mean, I feel like we're that team's kryptonite. Every time they've played us, it's been pretty rough for them. So regardless of the result of this match that we're going to play in groups, I still don't think it really matters since we're already qualified. But I mean, just looking forward to play them again, see if they can turn the tide around, I guess.
I mean, we have to stay tight. We have to be ready to take risks, calculated risks on the map. I mean, it's going to be competitive, right? Like you're going to take fights. You're going to die. You got to trust the guy behind you to trade, and they will be trading frags as well. So I think, it's going to be a brawl as long as we're able to develop the discipline and the fundamentals that we need to in order to succeed. I feel like, it could be a very competitive game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Ye's not going to be like some crazy like X factor to win them the game. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm not, like, truthfully, I'm not like scared.
They're gonna be very confident. They are 2-0 against us, so I know they're gonna come out swinging, and we just have to not give them the respect that they're looking for, and we just gotta punch them in the mouth before anything happens.
You can't solo carry in Valorant. I mean, even if Ye has 30 kills, you can't solo carry in this game. Ye was the best player last year, but regardless of like what happens, the team has to be on top of its form. If one person is really frying on all cylinders and is not missing a single shot, it's not going to be enough to win the game regardless. And that doesn't mean that the rest of the players on DSG are bad. I think they're all really good, but teamwork wise and like strategy wise, that's what matters. It actually doesn't matter how well someone is frying.
So many different perspectives in the interviews, but one thing ringing true throughout us, Ye is not going to be enough to solo win this game. This is something guys, everybody needs to be stepping up for ahead of today's match.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, yes, Ye is the biggest name on the server, and he has the most proven track record of anyone in Challengers, period. I mean, the guy's resume is astounding. Like, what he was able to accomplish last year with Optic, you know, it is something that is going to go down the history books for Valorant no matter what happens going forward. Like, the guy was just that phenomenal of a player. But M80 are stacked from top to bottom. There's like really no weak link on this team. Like, John Cutie is another one of the more experienced IGLs in Challengers next to Valen. And then when you look at every role, Nismo, EU, Koala Noob, Xander, I mean, where's the weak link in the roles, bro? They can all frag out. As they were even saying in the interview, they're a team where it feels like anyone can step up and carry and have a big round to put them out in front. And that's just so true. Like, M80, you know, don't really have the weak points. Whereas when you look at the Skies, we know that some of these guys have had their struggles throughout this split and last split as well. So something's going to have to turn around for them if they're going to have a chance to battle M80 today.
That's why I love that last little bit from Gangsta is, like, he's very aware that there's going to be a really big possible skill gap in the mix just based on how M80 has played in the past comparatively to what DSG has done. But come out, play your game, smack them right off the rip, set the tone. That's how you can upset a team like M80. We've seen it in the past. We saw it last week. Very well could still be possible again, especially if Gangsta and the rest of the DS team keep that mentality right off the get-go.
Well, for us, it's time to take a look at our map picks and bans, see if that's how Disguise can be and going approaching this series. But right out of the rip, when we see this Haven pickup from M80, this spells danger for me. The last two times these teams matched up, we got to see the Haven, and we got to see a pretty strong loss in way of Disguise here. So that already sets a huge thing of momentum for this match.
Yeah, I mean, Disguise played against them twice on Haven, had a combined 7 rounds across those 2 matches on Haven. So, I mean, it is going to be an uphill climb. You're looking at a team that is 7-1 on Haven. You know, they have been beating, you know, even teams like the Guard and TSM and some of the other stronger teams and Challengers. Their only loss was the Moist Moguls in the mid-season face-off, which is still a pretty tight game all in all. So they are just a team that is maybe the best Haven team in the league, honestly. And then when you look at Lotus, it's just the map that we've never seen them play, so we have no clue what to expect there. So DSG might be hoping that they can kind of shock them, because while they have an 0-2 record on Lotus, both those games went into overtimes against Turtle Troop and TSM. So, I mean, they're stronger than what their record indicates on Lotus for sure. And for M80, big question mark, never played it.
Yeah, the most recent was that 14-16 against Turtle Troop just last week. So, yeah, I actually, this is a tough opening map for anybody, let alone just Disguise pulling up against any in this map. But if you could come out, win at Lotus, there's a potential chance that this series, getting all the way to a split, could be real close, because Disguise have also played some really nail-biting matches on that map as well. So there's definitely a pathway to where Disguise can for sure compete. It just comes down to just making sure you're thinking of this as a best of 3 and not just being demoralized potentially after a first, depending on how things go, because this Haven map, like you mentioned, Dust, this is just such a strong pocket pick for M80. I'm sure when they got through the vetoes and Haven was still around, they were like, all right, thank you very much, because on both sides of the map, they just seem to dominate on it.
They're like hovering around 60% win rate on both sides of the map, so they're very comfortable playing defense and offense. They have a composition they've been playing every single time they're very comfortable with playing. It allows their initiators to play roles that they're very good on. You know, it puts Koala Noob on that jet where you can just be super, you know, in the pocket and wreaking havoc, and it puts Xander on a playmaking controller like Omen, where he can really kind of help the entry force with trade fragging. And again, the big thing about M80 is that it's their up-tempo controlled aggression, is what I like to call it. It's not loose cannon aggression, it's supported aggression, where, yeah, Koala Noob's going to be, you know, the front man, but he's got such a crazy supporting cast and supporting utility to make his job easier. And he knows that if he goes down, the trading force that's behind him, like a Nismo, like a Xander, like an EU, those guys are going to be able to trade off of him effectively. They are a very decisive team, as well as I think the other big thing, there's no hesitancy on M80. Like, once they have the idea of what they want to do, they go for it. And it's so hard to stop the tidal wave that they bring.
Well, going back to something Shift said about the fact this is the best of 3 to not get demoralized, the fact too that we got to hear from the players, and there was just, yeah, going up against M80 in the past, they have wrecked us. This hasn't gone well. So there's that recognition too, to where I feel like going into this, even if this first map goes in the way that history has shown it to be, that DSG could recover and go out the rest of the way swinging. But hey, we'll have to see if history repeats itself here. It's time for the agent select. It's time for map number 1. I'll see you two on the other side.
Thanks, Sierra. And the interesting thing here for Disguised on this map in particular, there were a couple of moments in the first split where they were trying to force in an Astra. It didn't really work out so well in combination of the Breach, but they have thrown Nerve back over to the Omen. So, kind of going back over to your point here, Dust, maybe not necessarily being impressed with what Nerve has been able to put together so far. That's kind of also the key role that we need to see fulfilled here if Disguised want to be competitive here in map number 1 on such a strong pick for M80 being Haven.
Yep. Yeah, mirror compositions here. Not something that we're surprised to see. I mean, it's a comp set both teams have been playing quite often. Like I said, the Astra was like the one thing that Disguise had tried in the past, but have gone back to the Omen with Nerve. The double initiator, Breach has become more and more of a mainstay on Haven within North America and just kind of worldwide. So no real surprises in the comps is kind of what I'm getting at. It's just all going to come down to how each team plays them. M80 starting on the defense.
Yep. Immediately Exalt, considering maybe throwing out an early stun just in case M80 is pushing down through mid. Not the case, though. Defense just kind of stacked up towards C with a little double stack over towards A long. Alarm bot just to be some sort of an alert system here if there is a play towards B, but Disguise are taking their time, feeling things out, and the Aldrone may catch first information for them.
Yeah, it's trying to come through here. Counter utility to try to slow down any type of long C progress off the back of that drone, but it's really the garage attack that's going to be the front runner for DSG, but M80 actually staying alive back at the site here, not being phased by the utility.
Yeah, the whole take from the front was fine, but they just aren't able to get around the backside of the spike site. Kills coming through, and oh my goodness, they are just absolutely perfect. Initially, you kind of saw it. It's a flash over the top. You get the paranoia in, the recon bolt goes deep, and it does get, I think, one set of pings out for DSG, but no one can push through because the counter defensive utility is just too strong.
And the counter defense was too strong, and M80 were able to stay back safe of the site. They stayed behind the site boxes, behind the C platform. They never really got unsettled, and so they were able to kind of clamp down together and push that off. They knew that they had long C covered by the counter utility. They could just kind of focus their fire on the site in the garage hallway. And they got the job done, and so they will buy up off the back of it here. A couple of sheriffs come out for DSG.
Chance for kill potential, especially in EA's hands. Marshall looking down, C long. The fault line tossed out for now, and ooh, he does get tagged, so the threat of the sheriff is known. Not that it really influences the defense too much, as EU gets to work at long. There's the cross, and well, there's no cross. There's zero cross. There is no one crossing. EU's gonna get all 5.
You cannot escape.
And well, that's about as clean as you'd like to see if you're an M80 fan.
That EU guy's really good, huh?
It's not bad.
He's pretty solid. I feel like EU's always been up there when you think about initiators in the North American scene. Obviously people think about Derek, you think about Trent, you think about like a few other players out there as well. Obviously Crashies has always been a big guy in the NA scene, but EU has always been kind of right there, in my opinion, amongst them. BCJ's another name you could probably throw in there as well. So yeah, just a really big piece on this team.
Well, not a good start here for DSG, but with weapons, chance to get on the board. M80 just still holding on to a lot of the weapons they were carrying. Actually, I think it's all the weapons they carried into the previous round. No one upgrading whatsoever, so it's just going to be that Sheriff for Nismo, the 2 Guardians. Marshall for Koala Noob. EU tested. Yeah, he gets the kill. Oh, the follow-up. What a shot from Koala Noob. Takes us to an early 4v4, but DSG will at least still find entry into A.
Yeah, indeed they will. And they've also tagged Koala Noob a good bit here with the Heaven spam, so they've pushed him off. They're going to control the side. They should be able to get the spike down any moment now. There is a flank, though, coming pretty quick from M80. Alarmbot gets out just in time from clear there to be able to pick up on it. It's going to get smoked, though. And so perhaps this flank will catch clear off guard. He's running back, but he gets caught.
Oh, no. Just knife out, gets caught. Paranoia out. Weapon collected. Oh, no. Not like this. Flashpoint for Exalt trying to stop this play through sewer. Cleans up quality from the front. Fault line also landing. 2v2. Everything resets. Nerve on the teleport away. Same thing for Xander, into the dark cover. Toggles the spike, spam from Exalt is good. Just down to John Cutie. Both players close by. Toggles again, baits out Nerve, but the transfer does not land. Exalt will get DSG on the board.
That's a tight round, though, man. That is not the way you want to be winning a bonus if you're DSG. You want to be surviving with as many members as possible to keep the rifles rolling. But they still do get the job done. They still do have enough to rebuy fully, so not too shabby. They get it done. Nice little clutch there in that 2v2 from Exalt and Nerve to reel that one back in after that flank caught them off guard. You were starting to get real concerned when Clear got caught out and that Sewers flank was coming in, but Nerve was able to kind of split up the attack with the teleport and Exalt get around the board there for DSG. Full buy though now for M80, including the operator on Koala Noob looking to get aggressive season.
Yeah. Flash pushes him off, but only for a moment. Dangerous to keep throwing shoulders at this. Long angle now being taken. Possible stack up, but while a only tally is up Exalt, maybe a bit less that only one got tallied there. It looked like they were right on top of one another. But in an early 5v4, DSG are completely stuck across the map now.
I love the reposition to the top of the sight box. It's normally where you start shift is on top of C sight boxes and you fall down from it. He's going to be there for his second peak. So I thought that might have a chance to catch someone off guard, but it actually winds up not. Ye actually still inside closet. He may not be aware of this, and so Ye may be able to catch Koala Noob off guard here a little bit. There he goes for the peak, but he's able to stay alive. Now focuses his attention over towards Garage, which indeed, that's where the spike carrier is.
Yeah.
But the Killjoy utility is strong on that hallway, let me tell you.
Not somewhere you want to just wander to. On the cross, wow, Ye. Holy. Big damage to Koala Noob, who misses.
30 seconds left.
Turret, the only thing guarding B at the moment. This is going to have to be a B execute. DSG use the utility to start to make their approach. Sentry turret denied. Nerve for the quick plant. Rolling, or the vault line plus Hunter Spirit combination comes out. That's good for EU to get one. John working his way back in. Catches DSG completely off guard. No one was even looking towards C-Link. Clear trying to hang on for dear life. And oh, he's done well until this point, but so much more to do. And M80 will eventually tally the kill and win the round.
Yeah, perfect Hunter's Fury not only to kill the spike planer, but also to pave a way forward for John Cutie to slip in, catch a brilliant timing on the players over at A-Link who are just not prepared for that push to come that quickly. They tried to make a big pivot after feeling the presence of Koala Noob's operator on the C side of the map. It was a good call, good audible, but just the timing of that peak from John Cutie was so huge.
My double's dead.
Catches him completely off. It's going to be a 3-1 lead for M80, and now it's back to a save for Discuss. Just some upgraded pistols. They have a Rolling Thunder, but unlikely to use it, I'd imagine, this round.
Yeah.
Lockdown available for John Cutie if they feel like they need it for a retake, but obviously they want to try to carry that over if they can.
I mean, the tools are definitely starting to stack for DSG, and you know, of course, if you can hit a couple of shots with these sheriffs and collect weapons, then you have an opportunity for things like the Rolling Thunder, maybe a lockdown. Like there's a chance to where if you can get the early work done, that you can still pull off a Thrifty. But it is hard to expect it without question. Vault line just trying to stave off this hit from Disguised. Gizmo flash to the back. Shock darts also landing. Okay, there you go. That's going to be one weapon collected. Lockdown in place for the defense. Rolling Thunder will get called out. EU's completely affected by it, but Exalt misses the opening shots. Still the kill comes out, so now a second weapon is in, and this is how it can happen, but Koala Noob gets the collat. It's only Clear to find the kill.
Initiated.
Lockdown will be placed. We've got a 3v2 situation in favor of Disguised with 2 weapons in, but M80 are going quick. John's going to try to wander into the site, but as he gets seen, he will back away.
Yeah, what a great audible call by DSG to bring this spike through A-Link, off the Rolling Thunder, off the frags they got onto the B site, and now they have themselves a 3-on-2 post-plant defense, both trying to come from heaven. They're going to try to drop down onto Nerve. Xander does get the frag.
Line though out, Exalt in the corner, tagged up. No way, not like this. And now it's just down to the Sheriff. Spam shot's not going to land. Weapon picked up, had to still hold down the trigger. Oh no, it just bounces too much. Xander stays alive with 14 health. And Clear nearly just saved the day for the Thrifty, but M80 still survived through it.
I almost can't even fault DSG for this round loss. I mean, again, I thought they played it so obviously. That collat was tough. That double drop down is going to be tough to deal with if you're Nerve under heaven. But, I mean, Clear had the right read. He won his 1v1. He had the spam in the appropriate location. He was just a touch off. So that's a grueling round to lose for DSG. I don't think they made any, huge errors. In fact, I thought they were very crafty that round.
Agreed.
They just don't get the result, unfortunately. M80 find a way to hold on.
Early
Man,
utility
that's
from
tough.
Disguised, trying to flush out positions at A long and Su, where Koala Noob is thinking about it, but we'll hold back just a touch. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it could have happened. All the things that came through the early pick, immediate into the Rolling Thunder, lockdown gets earned late.
I mean, I respect the way that they played the chessboard, but then M80 just flips the table over, and then the pieces go flying all over the place. I mean, that's just kind of what happens sometimes. What a read from EA, though. That's the stuff that he can provide. The intuition, knowing when to take the peaks, when to take the fights. That's a huge opener. Very quick 5-on-4 here.
Aldrone scouts things out in garage. M80 take that as a sign that they need to lean their defense over towards C. The Killjoy utility is not in place in that normal connector to garage nor at long. Oh, but the rotation gets seen. Koala Noob takes down Gangsta. There's the dash forward, tries to put in for the shot, not going to work out. One more lurker, clear drops, and now Koala Noob can get to work with the knives if he wants to. One more chance, maybe for the stop to hit.
Planted.
Rest of the defense trying to get through. Wait, teleport for Nerve goes up top, I think. No, maybe not fully. And with that, Koala Noob will be isolated. Xander, EU, John, last three left. Trade comes out. Ye gets his third, potentially up for the ace. Dashes across. Guardian in hand starts to tap for John. Xander on the corner. No, kill number 4 for Ye. Oh, ho, ho! Through the side of the Radiant crates, he gets all 5. Ace in play now for Disguise for their second round.
Man, one man might not be able to win you the match, but he might be able to win you a few rounds. What an ace from Ye. I thought Koala Noob played this round so well inside sewers. He was a constant thorn in DSG's side. He was giving them a hope for the retake, but then Ye pounces. Huge dash onto the side, huge spams to finish it off. That's a big time ace to get DSG up to 2. Puts M80 on the back foot here. Chance to close the gap.
Yep. What a recovery this would be after a near thrifty. To flip the script early here, try to get this thing back to level like you mentioned. M80 playing with a little bit of friskiness here, though, in this defensive round with just the Sheriff, the Guardian, and everything else classics. It's a 5-man stack at C.
Yep. I have to say, I've respected DSG's discipline and their multi-pronged pressure on this attacking side so far. Like, they did a really good job that round, even though Quad Noob popped off in sewers, to, pressure A instead of execute, but also do well to pressure garage and B to kind of keep the defense guessing. And they're doing so yet again. Like, they're kind of droning garage, they're pressuring B, they smoked long A to try to, keep info from being, gained there if need be, but it was just a gamble stack in the end from M80. Unfortunately, they choose wrong.
They do delay the plant, though. Long route around the back from Xander had been read.
Shadows traveling.
Recover in. Nerve. Yeah, well played.
One enemy remaining.
Completely congest the play coming over through C-Link. Last one standing is Xander on what was initially that long flank. He's changed, though, back over towards the Link play, but that's just very well read by DSG. Xander will get one with the classic that was Nerve at very low health. But anything further would be, well, pretty miraculous, you'd think.
Yeah, I don't see him doing too much else here.
Yeah.
Just trying to backpedal. See if he can get something else. There are a couple of players that do still have low HP, like Gangsta being one of them, so like maybe he could catch him. Oh, nearly.
Oh,
nearly.
Okay. Clean round for DSG. Back to within 1. Ult's starting to get earned now. As you've really close to the Hunter's Fury. Of course, the knives you don't expect to see, but you get Gangsta on for his ult. Could be a difference maker here to get us to a 4-4 tie through 8.
Yeah, Koala Noob back on the operator, though, so I have to see what he can do. Nisba's yet to get off the starting blocks. Neither has Gangsta, so we'll have to see if those two can start making a move here. That could be the difference maker and how the rest of these rounds start playing out. Good smoke to block Qualanoob's angle. He doesn't know if anyone's cross sewers or not. So that's some great info to now early from DSG.
Disguised. The only thing in their way if they want to hit through garage is a little bit deeper sentry turret, but boy, they really have preferred this B hit, or at least a B look. And they actually do deny one of the nano swarms that were looking to stop any play over towards the left side of this site, but do they expect the alarm bot in the second nano to be so close?
Not sure. John Cuty's playing onside as well. He could get fault line, and this could be a dangerous situation. He does have Xander at C-Link to try to assist. There's now Nismo as well. Maybe a counter util, but...
Yeah, the Aftershock Nano being traded back and forth. Paranoia gets held onto for Xander, and now Qualanoob realizes there could be a transition. This is the first shot. Offensive Paranoia just clears out long. Here comes the help for M80. Fault line, though, largely lands. Yay, looking to go with knives, floating above the play. Oh, and he does connect. Clear. Meantime, over through sewers, gets more. Oh my goodness, Yay is just feasting. He's going to get 4 this round. And how about it? 4 will survive as well. Disguise tie us at 4. Go figure.
Yeah, again, good audible call again from DSG. They got swatted away at the front side of B by utility. They pivot over. They push Koala back, and then Yay tees off with the ult. Charging them forward onto A as they play together. Just a rolling wave with trading potential. Wasn't really needed, though, as A was just picking them all up. He's at 13 through 8 rounds. Definitely been a huge factor. Not to be surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what he's capable of. What his camera's not capable of is going more than 5 FPS, though, unfortunately. He's kind of struggling on that one.
Oh, man. But this is exactly
Maybe we
what...
were wrong. One man might be able to do it all. I don't know.
I mean, we've seen maps in the past where, yes, one man can win a map essentially by himself. A series? Maybe you could think of a couple if you really to go all the way back, but it's pretty rare. But the thing about it is, outside of just Yay, I think, again, I just go back to what Gangsta said at the end, is like, look, we just got to come out, show these guys we could like, try to get aggressive early. And it's worked. I mean, honestly, this should be 5-3.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think DSG are doing a good job just kind of like pressuring multiple fronts at once and then calling the right late round audible to, you know, find the gap, so to speak. Or definitely keep the defense guessing each and every round. Now we got like another little gamble stack push here on a low buy from M80. 3 sewers. Clear might be in some trouble here.
Yeah, he just needs to catch some information off the dark cover not being fully encapsulating of that archway, but no, M80 hit the brakes, don't hear anything.
Yeah, I mean, the spike's about to go C-side. There's a turret there. It's being activated by John Cuty, so he'll get the read that they're pressuring garage here, but we're going to have to try to make this big flank work. I mean, Clear catches EU sleeping.
Xander trying to trade? No. Clear says, not interested. You can stay there all you'd like. We're going to go ahead and head to John Cuty's position. He's going to hear a lot of this. Oh, and he actually is going to come right on behind it, but he only gets one. Clear saves the day from absolute disaster off that mini pinch. Spike will be picked up. Gangsta will plant. And Disguise will go into a 4v3 post-plant setup where M80 have not been able to collect any other weapons at the moment.
Yeah, and they have good positioning, too. They have a player long, 2 players on site, and 1 garage outside of it. So they have all the fronts covered. Clear can even go for this late long con flank through Link.
Yeah.
It's a red, though, but...
Xander gets 1. That should be a rifle picked up for Qualanoob's. Will take him a little bit extra time to get this and then help out for this retake attempt, though. 2v3 still on the way. Yay in the corner. Good crossfire setup with Gangsta. Qualanoób now by himself, has the dash, and no, denied by Gangsta. And Disguise will take their first lead here in map number 1.
Indeed, they will. Really starting to get cooking here. This is shaping up to be one of their best attacking has ever on this map.
Deleted.
The first time they played M80, they got 0 attacking rounds. The second time, they only got 1. They've already certainly surpassed that. Now they come into this with ult advantage. Also, only just 2 away from the Rolling Thunder on Exalt. Granted, John Cuty and Xander are only 1 off their ults as well.
Yep. That's the big one. 100 Hunter's Fury early. Quality just catches Ye on the way in. It's all about EU, though. That Hunter's Fury being called, flushed out, disguised from being able to held in towards that A lobby position. So a lot spent for M80 to get some opening first bloods, but it works out.
Yeah, and Koala has a pretty good idea that Nerve is up here, and he's going to get it confirmed, and Nismo has his long covered so he could keep his focus on Heaven. Now a bit of a bait and switch play as Nismo's been found out.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, well done. Nismo, one more to find. It's Gangsta behind the wall. Yeah, the aftershock will push him out. Koala Dupe will get his third kill in the round. So it's an expensive opening, but M80 come out, you know, pretty well, right? All things told, just dropping one in the meantime.
That was a really nice little sequence there from them. Really good use of utility, really good team play between Nismo and Koala Noob. Just kind of work together on the safe side of the map and never really let DSG find a way forward. So they're going to keep themselves lingering around. They lost 4 rounds in a row, but they're striking right when they need to keep even. Alt advantage still sits with DSG here. They had the lockdown in the Hunter's Fury. Oh, EU.
Oh, no spam for you, sir. Oh, Tank's not good. Oh.
Okay, well, there's a response from Koala, though.
Yeah.
And that's a big man down.
I just love that from Gangsta.
That is funny. You gotta admit, just like, oh, you're gonna just full spam an Odin? Well, watch this, buddy. Check this out.
This hits harder.
Yeah, it does. It hits real hard.
You should run.
Oh, they know the
Koala Noob. He's got such a good read here on clear, but the shot doesn't quite land. Knife still out. Wants to kill him clear. Heck of a shot. Takes down Koala Noob. Numbers now for Disguise as they stroll on in for a B plant.
That is crazy clear lineup with that frag. Koala Noob's going to be kicking himself a little bit about that one. They're going to chill, try to make this retake work, though. Good utility gets them forward.
Trade is in, though. Back and forth we go, 2v2. Nismo late stun. Xander working in towards grass. Nerf watching, finding the shot good. Now it's just down to the 1v2. Sidesteps the paranoia, hoping that Nerf will peek, but no, not today. No need to as of yet. Flash gets sent deep. Nismo predicts the correct corner, but doesn't quite win the gun fight, and that's that Nerf will pop up, secure the elimination, and Disguise maintain their 1-round lead.
Last round in the half.
Really well played there. Clear catches a huge frag on Koala Noob. Lockdown obviously helps them get the spike plant as well. They also got the Hunter's Fury frag right off the rip. Reading EU spam. So, a lot of good things come together here for Disguise to pull this one out. Put themselves out in front. They guaranteed at least a tied half as we transition, but a chance to take a lead.
Thanks.
The 7-5, depending on how this final round plays out. M80, though, still holds a couple of big ults. What?
M80 trying to get aggressive through garage. Yeah, I don't know if it was still off the hop or if it was just a little bit too tall.
Cover going out.
But the opening idea for a first pick doesn't quite work out, and Disguise will survive into a 5v5, still taking a lot of focus to the middle of the map. This time, though, keep an eye on M80. They didn't just try to hit aggression through C garage. They have a double stack here at A lobby.
Yeah, they have a lot of intel on the map right now between, you know, fighting at garage, pushing through A side. They're, you know, still peeking middle from B with Nismo jiggling. So they definitely have a good read. They still have that 1 nano blocking long C if that becomes a path that DSG take. But again, DSG have been very disciplined here. They haven't really overreached in any of these rounds so far this half. They've been very compact and cohesive.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
Spike down A.
Xander, paranoid, but teleports away, throws one of his own. You can peek now. Oh, but he only gets one. Nice counter from Nerve. Problem here is the spike is down. Lots of awareness for M80's defense. Time is becoming an issue.
30 seconds left.
Trades may not be good enough. Gangsta was trying to go rogue through mid-map, but he gets pushed away. And Ye is going to walk right into a waiting stinger of Nismo. So 6-6 the half. Couple of convincing rounds on both sides. Ye, of course, highlighted, I think, in the majority of the wins that we saw early from Disguise. But hey, you got to give him credit for at least tying up a half on a map that M80s have not really been tested on lately.
Yeah, I mean, Ye basically won 2 rounds for his team. He had an ace and a quad kill. So, I mean, that was the bulk of his performance that half. We do see M80 do just enough to keep themselves tied going into their attacking side. And again, they're a team that is equally powerful on both sides of the map. Their attacking side slightly better. I guess it's kind of usual trend on Haven with it being a 3-site map. I would say they usually average at least 7 rounds per attacking half. Sometimes they're able to reach up to 8. Either of those numbers would be good enough. They're able to do it here now.
Shock dart.
Paul does get tagged by the opening shock dart, but he'll be all right. 5-man stack, work its way down towards A-Long. Just a smoke in their way. Defensively disguised. Are really relying on Gangsta,
Placing swarm grenade.
who is going to lurk in towards Sewer. Defensive help is on the way on the backside of the site, but Gangsta has pretty much self-isolated himself. Recon bolt likely not to be a big part of it. Although Gangsta does get one. Traded away. Yay on the way back in. Pinstripe goes to kill feed. Back and forth. Trades favoring the defense though of Disguise. 3v2 and M80 have backed out.
Yeah, they are getting out of there, that's for sure. Trying to look to see if they can get this spike planted over at C, and they should be able to get there in time to guarantee the plant. Now, whether or not they're able to hold off the retake is an entirely different story. The one thing that they have going their way is that Exalt has very low health, so he's a pretty easy target to pick off. And they both have frenzies, and they're fully, you know, geared out as far as health goes. So, mana advantage TSG, yes, but considering the weaponry that M80 have, and considering how low health Exalt is, this could still be a tough retake for them.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this comes down to, will this Nismo utility actually connect? Timing going to be good. John playing off the potential flank. Oh, and Nismo does get the connection he needs with the fault line. Exalt down to 3 HP is the last hope. There's the final flash. Careful, that turret can kill you. Flash over the top. There's the swing. Well done by M80. Boy, I mean, tough 2v3, but they play it perfect.
They really did. I mean, that was a perfect sequence of utility and peeking, and Nismo doubles his frags for the map right then and there on that pistol round. And one thing I do want to note, the big problem for Disguise when they have lost Haven the last 6 games in a row has been because they have not been able to get more than 4 defensive rounds in either of their last 6 matches.
Yeah.
So now they have to do a heck of a lot more than that in order to be able to find a win here or even force an overtime. So just keep that in mind, that the defensive side has been their struggle in the past. So they're going to have to turn that around, and that's already a false start.
Opening Marshall play down long. Not going to be able to land on a Gangsta. He keeps his life. Early aggression from Disguise through the C side of the map. But M80 are pretty much fully stacked here for an A hit. Looking to likely go pretty quickly. Ball Noob just very apprehensive about moving through Sewer initially. Gangsta has been scouted. Desperate shock dart doesn't quite land. But map control favors Disguise all through this.
Deploying drone.
The thing is that rotation is going to take a long time to get to A from the C side of the map.
Yeah.
Sites being cleared up by the Aljo, and John Cutie able to get forward. Quality has an idea about the Sewers player. Gonna find it. And this is pretty much all she wrote as far as this round's concerned.
Feels that way. Unless Ye can hit some unbelievable shots with this Marshall, maybe find a weapon drop over towards long, but EU's watching. John with the sentry turret in front of him is just kind of waiting. It looks like Disguise are just going to try to play for some exit kills, giving away the round.
Yep. So it will be 8-6 M80. They're going to be going to their bonus with a lot of rifles, I will say that.
Yeah,
I mean, Bulldog, 2 Phantoms, a Guardian. Yay, looking for exits with the Marshall here. Just about does it there against Qualu. EU able to trade, though. Salt goes down as well. Nerve. Wishful thinking. Obviously just wanting to go down with the spike.
Yeah. Let's give it something to look at.
Yeah. Well, you know, the 3 main rifles at least are carried over.
Sure.
I guess they did lose the Bulldog, but
this is going to be pretty powerful here for Disguise overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full purchase behind it too. So 5 rifles up. Stinger, Marshall still in play with a Guardian for M80 on the other side. So for Disguise, the chance to get this back to within 1 and get your defense going. Quick hit. Straight down towards C. Paranoid's going to hit the majority of this. Problem is, a lot of offensive utility does deny any early shots from coming through. Trades already in the mix. Oh, and clear just before he gets flashed. Tallies up a double. Can't quite call onto his life, though. So we go to an early 2v2. Spam on both sides of the dark cover deep will not result into too much outside of a couple of tags. And M80 will try to stick for the plant. Exalt maybe looking to go quickly. Aldrone is in the way, so this will read that there are players on. But Exalt can't get through the sentry. Maybe misses a small window, then we reset just for a moment. And how about this? M80 are predicting that everything's going to come through the back, and they would be right. Thing is, Exalt still has vault line, still has a flash. Nismo affected. John watching over the top, and John gets whoa! What a transfer for the double, and M80 take the round.
What a read to double stack the back halls and just leave garage hallway in the wind. It was obviously a risky call because perhaps the SG could have backed off and split it and they would have been in some trouble, but they make the appropriate read. They play the high-low, and John Cutie able to pick it up. John Cutie leading the server right now, 17 frags. I mean,
yes.
My goodness, sir.
Just about to say.
He's never been like a bad fragging IGL, but he certainly isn't one of the top ones. You know, you usually think of guys like Poise or Valen or something along those lines as like big fragging IGLs, but man.
Yeah, looking to catch M80 on exit, not going to work out, and actually in the meantime, Zult drops over towards B, so this defense has to kind of scramble. You have Nerve trying to play around the back. Xander is waiting for this potential play to come through. Clear. A little bit of a late lurk through C long. Both Killjoys watching, and clean shots from John. Big numbers advantage now for M80 looking to get double digits.
Yeah, looking to find 10 for sure here as they're about to find a wide open C site. So bring the spike in through the garage hallway. Use that utility to ensure the safe passage. He still has Xander out in the middle that could cut off some of these rotations and flanks, but he could also get overwhelmed and pinched here.
Yeah, sure could.
Cover going up.
Feels it though. Yep, there it is. Tried to get out. He threw out the paranoia, threw out a dark cover, but Ye comes around the back with the knives, and M80 are saying, ooh, careful. Ye's still alive with knives. This could still be dangerous. Little crisscross applesauce. The backside of C, little 2-2 stacks. Watching each other straight. Rolling Thunder getting called in. Ye not affected by it. Over the top. Floats in for one, but does get denied anything more. And then, well, Nerve a little greedy trying to get on top of the teleport. Not that he had much to work with outside of just the Sheriff anyways, and then M80 will take the round.
Indeed they will. Great Rolling Thunder there. Kind of saves the day. Certainly Ye was pressuring with knives when they caught Xander out in the middle, and they were starting to make some headway onto the C site, but M80 were able to tuck in 4 players safely at long and use Rolling Thunder as kind of an insurance policy to close the round, and they still have a lockdown available coming into this next one. And so you're starting to see M80 hit some momentum now. They're starting to gain a lot of traction, building the lead. They're up 4 rounds. Sky's forced to call the timeout. Again, the defensive sign has been Sky's a kryptonite throughout both splits. I mean, obviously a couple different roster configurations have been used throughout it, but that's still the one mystery they haven't solved yet. And again, Haven defense is tough. You got to pick and choose your battles as far as when you want to aggress, when you want to push for info, when you want to play for retake. You have to make those sacrifices. You can't cover it all.
So coming out of this timeout, you already mentioned kind of tallied some of the ultimates that we expect that will likely come through in this round on either side, but I mean, this has got to be it here for Disguise. You drop this one, you're likely back to half-buy situation at best. Looking down the barrel was 6-11, that would turn to 6-12, so it's kind of a must-win right here. Ye's going to pull out the scope and try to enforce this defense. Kind of have to have it, and if you could find a way to maybe tally up something like a Rolling Thunder in the process or get closer to this lockdown, that'd be extra nice to have.
This is a big round here as far as what's being committed credits-wise by Disguised. They can find themselves in quite the bind if they can't pull this round off, as M80 are wasting no time laying pressure on this B side, and they're going to take it all the way.
I love this call to go straight towards B. Puts the operator kind of in a position to where Arizona doesn't do much for Ye. No utility to stop this plant from happening either, so you're going to get the free plant plus the exit to set up your post plant where you've got a lockdown. You're a kill away from EU to get Hunter's Fury. This becomes very difficult for Disguised.
You should run.
Early lockdown out, Koala on the first contact. Exalt holding. Oh, the timing here just so good, but Exalt's still holding. Can they get him through? Yes, just barely. Gets to halfway. Koala Noob steps in. That got maybe a little bit too close for comfort in the face of the lockdown. Shorty out for Koala Noob. First shot lands. Oh, gets the reload off! just completely hops over clear. And oh, mercy. Not what you want to see.
Roller coaster ride, bro. I mean, like you said, they almost got that defused. Like, they almost stuck it through. But then just in the nick of time, Noob gonna be able to come in here and get the frags he needs. Oh, my goodness. That's just Noob things, man, isn't it?
Sure is.
Placing swarm grenade.
Wow. Well,
Indeed.
Disguise still able to get themselves a purchase here, but this is the game.
Yep.
Noob with 9s, looking to go quickly. M80, this is that staple tempo and aggression, still floating over. Fault line, gonna connect over. But no one checks over towards Dirt's direction. Hunter's Fury is intended to flush him out, but the hit's over. M80 have already backed off.
Yeah, they kind of missed the timing on that one, that's for sure. There was no follow-up to Noob dashing into the center of the site. Hunter's Fury comes too late, doesn't find anything. This is a rough round now for M80 all of a sudden. Rolling Thunder and Hunter's Fury available for DSG, plus they have mana advantage, and they've rotated correctly.
Well, they're still creating a ton of noise here at C, keeps the defense interested. Aldrin was spent just to make sure nothing was moving through Garage, and at the same rate, you still have Ye trusted to watch through A long. He's going to maybe have an opportunity. He backs up. I'll say maybe to watch the cross here. Goes back for it, but John may sneak through. Oh, it gets caught toggling between the ADS, and now the floodgates open for M80 to get on it.
That was such a huge frag from Xander. Rolling Thunder gonna come in, but the plant? Nope, it doesn't get down in time.
Nope. There's Fury out. Oh, but these guys are predicting this in the wrong spot. Exalt drops, Gangsta does connect, so Xander will also fall. 3v3, but breaking through the post plant is going to be tremendously difficult for Disguise. They're just running out of utility. The Paranoia essentially has to land, and as Gangsta drops, reveal is in. Nismo starts to clear, and no, nothing there. M80 will take the round on map point with nothing but offense on this second half for them.
That's a tough round to lose if you're DSG, because you hard countered the C push. You had mana advantage. You had Ye keeping info on A side so you could reinforce your B and C defense. Ye goes down immediately to just a big entry from Xander. Floodgates open off the back of that again. M80 are that type of team, bro. They're so decisive. When they find that opening pick, they do not let up. They are relentless. And that type of oppressive play style can be very hard to deal with, as a lot of teams have found out so far this year when they played against the squad. And now they have 6 map points. DSG have yet to find a defensive round. Again, that's been their big problem on Haven.
Well, at least they're in a position to afford some relatively notable weapons. The Double Guardian Stinger is what really kind of impedes their ability to be at full force. And of course, the Rolling Thunder spent last round. The Hunter's Fury spent last round.
Take flight.
You really only have the lockdown from now until what's going to feel like forever. Yay, careful. Tried to look for some peeks through mid. Almost got traded. But everyone stays alive, and M80 start to rotate.
Yeah, DSG are really respecting B right now, considering how much M80 has pressured it throughout the course of the game. Trying to double up on it and find a pick, don't find it. They're rotating nicely, though, towards A side. They've definitely got the right read here. But can they actually hold the site? It's going to be the next big question.
Yeah. Line out. Oh, opportunity for Disguise. They had quality to isolate, but late Paranoia starts to come across the site. Gangsta completely unimpeded by it, though. Able to tally 2, save his teammates. So defensively, DSG still holding. Gangsta still in the corner. Late recon bolt out. Lockdown with it. Gangsta starts to do his job. 4 in a row. Looking for EU for the final and 5th. And we have had some pop-off rounds today. Quad feeds, aces, the whole 9 yards.
Gangsta just played that so well, dude. Just hiding in the corner, using his utility perfectly. The reveal that he gets through this smoke right here gets him such perfect intel on all the remaining players so he can line them up and knock them down. A huge play from Gangsta. He had a slow start, if you remember.
Yes, he did.
He has really had a resurgence here. That's a big round to get you back in action. To Nismo's credit, he started 0-7. He's also been able to come back into the game as well. So Ooh, this angle. Oh.
Thing is, it's EA with a bulldog.
Yeah.
All right, well, Koala Noob will still hold the angle. Tries to predict the cross. Not going to work out. Nismo searching out information through A, which there is information to find. Gangsta's holding this corner. Shock Dart in response to the Owl Drone will keep players relatively at bay, but maybe we'll get some clearance to start making their moves over towards possibly an A attack.
Yeah, they're not letting up. Flash is coming through, reveal, and Exalt. Fault line pops him. He is stunned. That's going to prompt the push in here from Koala Noob, and he finds the entry.
Down A.
Gangsta again holds on to the site for a moment. Backs off for now, though. Needs assistance. John's little lurk through mid. Also trying to come out. The Paranoia actually sent to just try to get that elimination, and they still tally it. Gangsta's Hunter's Fury trying to stop the plant, but EU
30 seconds left.
stays alive, gets it down. 2 shock darts for him to use. Rolling Thunder for Nismo plus the Aftershock. Disguised, walking on in towards site. All 3 members stacked up on top of one another. Now they spread and they see, okay, no one's here. How do we get through this? Rolling Thunder used nicely. EU trying to reveal, but no, Ye denies it. Just down to Nismo. Fault line now being spent. Gangsta gets it. Oh, did he get all the way to halfway? It was close, but it may not matter. Nismo for all 3.
Attackers win.
Unbelievable. Just when you thought Disguised was just about to secure the retake, Nismo shuts him down with a 1v3 eBay clutch. And with that, the map goes the way of M80.
Yeah, what a finish for Nismo, and he needed it because everything was against them on this round, but he comes through, isolates the 1v1s, and has a huge hat trick. Like you said, this game was chock full of individual moments. I mean, we had a couple of aces, we had a quad kill, and that was a huge 1v3 from Nismo to shut things down before they got out of hand. And man, oh man, it's kind of what we thought, you know, as far as like who the favorite team was, what, you know, considering the map and considering just the difference in the performances of these 2 teams throughout challengers throughout this year. But I have to say, Sky certainly put up a hell of a good fight. I mean, they played a great first half. They just could not get going on defense, man. It's been been their problem all year long.
Tough scenes, but it was a map that we kind of jumped into and said it would be, again, a miracle if Disguise could beat M80 on the map. The fact that they were competitive, though, possibly builds for some good tidings coming into the future with not just map 2, maybe also a 3rd if we get there. We'll head off to a break. We'll bring Sierra back, break down the action to get us all set up for map number 2 right after this.
Favorite Vandal skin? I'm at a cross right now between the Prime and the Ion Vandal right now, but I can't get the Ion Vandal in my shop, so I'm kind of upset. I practice with it on the tourney realm, but the Prime is just, it's Prime, you know, it's the best.
My favorite Vandal skin is the Prelude to Chaos. I actually will not be picking off this season anymore, so this skin I will be using.
The Glitch Pop or the Prime. I would say my favorite is either the Glitch Pop or the Prime. Favorite Vandal skin? The Forsaken gold version, gold white.
Right now, mine would have to be the new one, the new black market one.
My favorite Vandal skin right now has got to be the Araxes Vandal, the alien looking one. It's my favorite.
Currently, my favorite Vandal skin is the Prelude to Chaos, I think it's called. You know, it's just like looks really big in your hands and just shoots straight. Honestly, the only Vandal, I don't actually have it myself, but I've been picking it up off people recently, and it's actually so good.
Lately, I've been using the Chronovoid, so I think my favorite Vandal skin is probably the Chronovoid.
Skin? My favorite Vandal skin? I have to say it's the Araxes, the black and red Araxes Vandal. That goes crazy.
RGX, the yellow one.
My all-time favorite Vandal skin is probably got to be the Forsaken Vandal, the white and gold variant. It's just super clean, and I always pair it with like a Prime Karambit or something. Always got to match my rifles and melees together.
The blue Chaos Vandal. The noise is just perfect, and I like I don't know, I just like when you hold it, it feels nice. Like I like it a lot.
Favorite Vandal skin? It's got to be. That's tough. Honestly, it's probably the Prelude to Chaos, but the Forsaken and the Prime are right up there next to it.
I like the RGX Vandal, the red one to be exact, but yeah.
Prelude to Chaos probably is the best, I think.
Ooh, the Prelude. Right now it's the Prelude, and if it's not the Prelude, it's either the Reaver Forsaken.
Probably the Ion. I rock with the Ion heavily. I don't know why.
Favorite Vandal skin. I've been changing my Vandal skin a lot lately. Right now I'm on the Prelude to Chaos, and it's been hitting pretty good for me right now. So I'll go with that for now.
The fish, what, Neptune? The squirt gun? The water gun? Love that skin. So good. Yeah, it's white and black. I have to say, it depends. I switch between white and black a lot, but they're both really good.
The Fish Vandal when I'm playing Harbor, especially. Whichever one that's called.